Besides me, Madison, and I have another fun thing this week, and if you could guess what that is, because I'm holding it, it's this huge hydrangea. These are the PG hydrangeas. They're very different than your standard hydrangea. They look like the ones that people grow in their lawns. I usually like to call these local hydrangeas. They're gorgeous. They have this green, limey color. As you can tell, I'm very excited about it. So yeah, we'll be working with that this week. We have some beautiful millet. Hopefully we can get some in that looks just like this. It's like the very long, pretty millet. We're gonna use this, maybe get a couple of pieces sticking out or some hanging. We have some dianthus. This is purple dianthus. Dianthus is the carnation family in a way. So that includes your tracheliums, your dianthus flowers like this, carnations, mini carns, etc. These are, I like to sometimes call them they look like little sprays almost. They're really cool. And they look really pretty, bunched together. So I'm gonna do some bunching action with some of these. Really excited about that. Since it's summer, what would be summer without some zinnia? So I have some pretty zinnias right here. All right, lovely snapdragons. Snapdragons are just a classic in floristry. They help build length, and I'm excited to use them. And then we have some more summer-esque flowers, some straw flower. Straw flower is really cool because it looks very papery. Literally, it sounds like paper. They're little origami balls, what I call them. So, have a couple of these. And yeah, let's get started. So this week I am in this big old fish bowl. It's also just like the glass bowl. I'll be working out of this. And yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set where I want my hydrangea to be, because everything's going to be built around this boy. Hydrangeas are very full, so I'm going to keep this one a little low to the bowl, possibly towards the front. So I'm going to cut it a little lower and just see how I'm liking it. I really want the weight to really sit in the bowl, so I'm going to cut it pretty short. A little shorter. Maybe take off this weird piece that's hanging on right here. All right, perfect. Now that I've got it where I want it, what I'm going to do is take off these little balls because I don't really need them. I just want them to be a nice clear layer. There we go. And then I'm going to smash this stem. So hydrangeas really like water. They like a lot of water. And an old trick is you take the stem of your hydrangea and you smash it with this. Or if you have a little hammer, sometimes that works. Or some people like to cut up the stem. And what I mean by that is you take it and you slice up it. Usually I just like to smash it. And again, that's because hydrangeas love water. They love water. Another thing you can do with hydrangeas, you can take the entire head and submerge it in water, let it sit for a minute, and then take it out. They'll fluff right back up, which is really cool. So we're gonna do that. I'll set that in after we're already done that. All right, next I'm gonna go with my dianthus. So dianthus is really cool. They have all these little pretty flowers on them, and they're a little fuzzy sometimes. So I'm gonna cut this also a little low, this lower to the bowl. And I'm just gonna kind of bunch them together. Taking off any of those extra leaves that might fall off and get into the water. Sometimes they have these tiny little leaves that always end up just going into the water. So I'm just gonna put that right there. Again, do the same thing with this one. Keep it a little low. And again, I'm making sure my mechanics are good in this one because I don't have a lot of stems. So I want to make sure that whatever I do make, I'm really making sure that those stems are crossing really well, just to make sure that they're in the water. All right, next I'm going to go on with my snapdragons. We're going to have 3 of these. I'm going to keep these a little taller. And then again, I'm going in with all of my pieces. Really keeping it long and pretty. Not too long, but close to the bowl. And then as I build my mechanics, I'll keep some longer and taller, like this one. Actually, I'm going to use this one. Chef Baby. so I'm gonna keep this one just a little longer. A lot of groupings in this one, I've decided. Next we have these beautiful millet pieces. Now millet is absolutely gorgeous. It has these cool little pieces of paper on them, so I'm taking, not paper, it looks like paper, but these like stems that like flow off of it, so I'm gonna keep some of those. Not all of them, but I'm gonna keep some. I'm gonna have some hanging low on the bowl, which I think will be a cool effect. Oh, it looks like a little tongue, actually. And then I'm gonna keep some a little taller. Just a little. These are really heavy though, so make sure whichever way you do decide to do them, that you're putting them in a formation that looks nice. This one I'm gonna keep maybe a medium height on it. Maybe put this one over here. Super cool. All right. Again, making sure all my mechanics are good. Sticking the hydrangea back in there nicely. All right. I have one more piece of dianthus, so I'm gonna cut that low and create my little bunch of dianthus right there in the corner. Again, have that kind of going up a little bit. Also, your hydrangea is a grid. That's one thing that I really like about hydrangeas, is that since there's so many little pieces to them, you can truly make a grid with your hydrangea. So utilize your hydrangea. That's why a lot of times you see hydrangeas inside of an arrangement, it's pretty low. Because you can actually stick stuff in it, which is really cool. So make sure you utilize that. Next, we're gonna go in with our straw flower, where sometimes straw flower comes in with these little brown bits on them. We're just like the side pieces kind of browning a bit. So we just take those off. And then left is these beautiful flowers. I'm gonna leave these a little higher too. And again, I'm using my hydrangea as a grid, which is really cool. Leave this one a little taller as well. Actually, let me see which piece I like better. I kind of like the movement of this one. Yeah, I like the color-wise. What do we think, Chad? I think this one. I like the movement of it. And when I mean movement, I mean like the gesture of it. Flowers have gestures. I talk about that all the time in the videos. And sometimes we get things that have like really wiggly gestures with them. So we're gonna really utilize some of those and play with that. Really get a fun shape in there. And again, I'm using my hydrangea as a grid. And don't be too scared to really stick it in there. Hydrangeas they can be finicky, but they can be the life of the party as well. All right, cool. Go. And then last but not least, I have these beautiful zinnias. Zinnias are the perfect little sunflower. So many people grow them. I love them. We get them local in from our Michigan Flower Co-op, or we get them from Forgive Me Not Farms, which is always really nice. So I love using them. They're like my favorite little sunflower. They're so cool, and they have so much like cool little like movement to them and everything. Use those wisely. Again, we're going to make sure that's standing up nicely. Again. Now again, if you're like me and you're tall, you always want to make sure that you can see what you're doing. I'm super tall, so I always have to go in and like be level with my bouquet, or just lift it up to the sun. I'm going to take off these little pieces right here because they're in the way. So I have the stems that we don't want. really get them to stay the way we want them to. Really play with our shapes and colors, is what I like to say. Shapes and colors. Y'all get that reference, you're real one. Now again, there's not a lot of like hardy stems in this one, there's no green, so we're really relying on our mechanics to get the shapes we want. So don't be afraid to stop, adjust, move things around, really get the shapes that you want. So you get the product that you want. You're happy with your ring. Cool stuff, really wacky. Really cool. Very demure. If y'all get that, you're real. You're on the internet way too much like me. And I think I've decided for this one, I kind of want it to be just a little louder. We will get this to stay the way we want it to. We just have to find the right little nook. And bam. See how that happens? See how that just happens? Best feeling in the world. Alright, final touches. We're just moving everything the way we want it to. I think I want this to be more in front. This beautiful little nut. She deserves to be seen. Group our millet together. Put this somewhere where we're proud of it. Let's give her a good look. Wow, super cool. Love it. Now I have these little pieces here of hydrangea left. So I'm gonna take these pieces. I'm gonna make sure that my base is filled up with water so that they can touch water, because again, hydrangea really likes water. Fill in some spots that are just a little naked from our dianthus. Just a little. I'm just gonna make tiny little pieces, but I wanna make sure they have a stem. They need to have something to suck water, because hydrangeas love water. So we're gonna make sure that they have all the water that they need. Again, just making some longer stemmed pieces and really filling in any cracks that are out. Alright, and that is this week's Funky Fun DIY. So this DIY is cool because we're really utilizing the hydrangea for space, and we're kind of using it like a grid, which is really cool. So we have this beautiful local hydrangea that's filling up all the space. We have these really pretty, papery straw flowers, that are really adding some bounciness and coolness, but a little bit of texture. We have this gorgeous millet that's really full and like just huge. It kind of looks like amaranthus. When I saw it, I thought it was amaranthus. Then I have groupings, which is super important. So I have groupings of my dianthus and my snapdragons, which really adds some flair to it. This is a really cool DIY all in all, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. I would love to see what you guys do with this week's DIY. I always love seeing your pictures. It makes me super happy. Make sure you send pictures inside of the Flowers for Dreams Detroit Instagram or to the Flowers for Dreams Instagram because it makes me super happy. And I will see you guys next week.